old, I said, when he's passed over. His guru lived from 1016 to 1137. Okay, so this guy, his name's Hans Baba, he's alive now. He was the disciple of the previous guy. As soon as his master died, he started taking on the characteristics of his master. He began to physically change, and in every other way change. This is the old guy, Deva Baba, and this is the young guy, Hans Baba. Tell me what you see in this. What do you see? It looks like the same person, doesn't it? Okay, so this is the guy that passed over, the one I showed you, who passed over in 1990. And apparently his soul went into Hans Baba. And when they asked Hans Baba, well, where did Hans Baba go? He said he has flown away. Okay. Because he speaks as this guy now. He is this guy. And this guy's extremely famous, so everybody knows what he was like, what he acted like, you know, and he just became him. Now, when I was with him, one time, I've been with him a few times, when I was with him one time in Jaipur, India, I visited him, and he sits up on what we call a manch, which is a platform, and he asked a woman to come and stand there, and she did, and he said, oh, hello, so-and-so, and he knew her name. He said, I saw you at the Kumbh Mela in 1989. And she said, yes, I saw Devraha Baba there. He was not at the Kumbh Mela in 1989, but he recognized her. And it was he who recognized her. So I witnessed this thing take place. I was there. But there are many, much more interesting stories about him. Amazing stories about all the incredible healings he's done. If you go to him, he will grant any wish that you want. I mean, he's just an amazing, amazing being of light. And he is an immortal being, yes.
So these masters that are immortal,
right?
They basically, when you go to them, they give you a secret to be happy here on earth as human beings.
Well, they might give you that secret. They'll give you actually whatever is needed for your spiritual evolution.
But it's basically, it's a human-centered, they have a human-centered view of the world, is that I'm going to tell you how you can ascend and be close to God and be happier and heal yourself. Is that a fair thing?
Well, I guess you could say that. What they will do, they're not going to tell you how to do that. They're going to actually transmit their energy to you, which will lift your vibration. And that's when I visited Hans Baba. When I visited Hans Baba, he told me to stand there in front of his thing, and then he began to sing this little song. He sometimes talks and sometimes sings in a language that's an ancient tongue that nobody understands, because he's so old. And he sings in this ancient tongue, so he'll start singing, and then you'll start, I don't know, I couldn't help myself. I started swaying, and then I would start dancing, and then I was like in ecstasy. And that's the kind of, it's like they give you an experience, really, more than, but they might give you wisdom, they might.
No, but I was just trying to make sure I understood that when you're with them, you feel better.
You do.
You find out how to ascend,
you
how to
change.
get better energy. You as a human being go to another level.
You get lifted to a different consciousness. And I've had the great good fortune of spending so much of my life in the presence of divine beings, both internally divine beings, you know, on the higher plane, but also physical. Because I was in this ashram for 22 years with my guru, who was an enlightened master, and because I have gone back to India many times and seen these enlightened beings. But everybody says the same thing. They all say the same thing. And that is, the answer is within you. Everything is within you.
They don't teach you anything about how to be Gaia happier.
No, they might be teaching that too. It depends on what their particular specialty is. I have met masters in India who talk about healing the earth a lot. Yes.
But I noticed that when you were referring,
As a matter of fact, here's a quote from him. I have a quote right here that he gave me. Here's the quote. The world cannot be run through anguish, anger, and hatred. Connect with each other and find the right people who can spread love and peace in the world. Connect those people together in a global family. The right people should come forward. That's a quote from him.
that's still a human-centered quote.
Well,
Still a humanity-centered quote.
we are the ones that are creating this world. Yeah.
If we love each other, we're going to create love and peace. Wars will end, and then mankind will go on and be happier in the future.
Well,
That's what he's teaching, right?
I would say he's teaching peace on earth. Through that quote, definitely.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, basically, that's basically what you said all along, or did I misunderstand you?
You're right.
Okay, then I just want to make sure I understand.
Absolutely, yes. Yes, you can receive the blessings from a picture, she was asking. Yes.
My question is, I know we're talking about all this capacity and things here, but I'm curious with this gentleman, if he is the walk-in of this other man, as you said earlier with the case with Elijah, how does that make him an ascended master, so to speak, if they're still inhabiting, going from body to body like transfer?
I hear what you're saying. You wanted to know how is it that a person would be quote-unquote an ascended master if they're walk-ins, if they're, oh, okay, so they're not really ascended masters. They have not technically ascended beings. They haven't just disappeared into a light body as Jesus did. Okay, so they wouldn't be like Jesus. They would be somebody who has attained this incredible longevity, and then they go into the next body. That's right. But that's because of the service that they're doing to humanity. That's their purpose. The purpose of these beings is to serve humanity. So that's why they keep coming back.
Almost like the Dalai Lama.
Like the Dalai Lama.
It seems reincarnating in that way.
Reincarnating. Exactly. It's simple. No, it's in my book, though. Ascension. It's in my book, Ascension. Okay, so this is another divine being. I can't really spend a whole lot of time. What time is it now? And I have till what time?
1:30.
Oh, I have a little more time. Okay. This is another being that I met. His name is Sri Sri 108, Sri His Holiness Swami Prakashananji Maharaj. And he's called Teet Maharaj. He's called Teet Maharaj, and he showed me his passport. His passport said that he was born in 1892. However, I happened to be visiting him at the time when the Queen of Nepal was there with me. And she said that her grandfather knew him when he was young. So he has to be at least 150 years old. So his ashram is in Jageshwar. And he, at his age, when I met him, he drove to Delhi himself in a car. It's a long drive. It's about a 12-hour drive. You have a question? Because he wants to know why some masters age and some don't. It's because we have different purposes. And it's very rare to have a purpose to become an ascended master or to have great longevity. There is one great master, Yogananda, who died when he was quite young. He died in his 50s, 50-something years old. And for some beings, that's really not their purpose to have longevity, great longevity. It's not really important if you have longevity or not, because we're immortal anyway. We live forever. Our soul is immortal. So whether we continue in this body or another body, or become an ascended master, it really all depends upon what our purpose is. You're going to say something about Babaji? But he's an ascended master. He appears and disappears at will and takes whatever bodily form he wants. Yes. So this is Tit Maharaj again, and he actually visited all the great pilgrimages of India wearing only a loincloth, even in the high snows and the high Himalayas and everything. And then he went and lived in a cave for 30 years, and apparently these lion cubs, tiger cubs, guarded the door there. And in 1927, the British government granted him the forest of Tit. That's why he's called Tit Maharaj. After he had meditated there for 30 years, the government gave him this property in Jageshwar. Anyway, he's a great master. Another great master is Ramakrishna Paramhansa. He's a wonderful being of light from West Bengal, and I actually was with him in past life. So he was a great being, always absorbed in meditation is the name of what his name means. And this is what he says. Here's a quote from him. Consciously or unconsciously, in whatever way one fails, consciously or unconsciously, in whatever way one falls into the trough of nectar, one becomes immortal. Similarly, whosoever utters the name of the deity voluntarily or involuntarily finds immortality in the end. So he worshipped Durga, who's a great goddess of India, especially South India. Once again, you know, I did all these paintings, and they're all in my booth number 86, if you want to pick any of them up. This is a picture of Babaji, who is the great, ineffable, immortal being of light. And he's the one that founded my teaching. Everything I teach is from Babaji. He's my teacher. He's my inner teacher. I'm in communication with him constantly.